friends, parents, and the Curtis High School class of 2012. This is an important day for you, the graduating class, as symbolically, it marks the passage from one stage of your journey through life to another. As I learned about your class, I have been totally impressed, not only by your academic and athletic achievements, which have been great and many, but also your class's real involvement in community service. As you've been told, I've spent a large part of my life as a volunteer in the not-for-profit sector, and I can assure you that it's important both for the people you help and the great satisfaction you receive in helping others. When you get settled in a community, continue that good work. You and the world will be better for it. This is, however, and also a special day for me, as I return to speak to you 60 years after my graduation from this beautiful school, where I spent 4 very happy years. I thank Dr. Curtis and all of you for this privilege. It is a real honor. I might also note that my father graduated, well, just barely graduated, here in 1924. The caption under his yearbook photo was, "Pleasure before duty." Now that's a legacy to live up to. Yet he became a success with his family and as a hard-working businessman, so there is hope for all of us. Now, so here's the problem. Do I tell you how different everything was in 1952? How the world has changed? Or do I give you advice like the grandfather I am that you may not hear and certainly will not heed? Part of the problem of growing old is that you've learned so much from life's experiences, and yet generation after generation seems to have to learn for themselves. That is a constant. It was true in 1952, and as it is today. So I decided to do a little bit of both. But don't worry, the awarding of diplomas will not be called on account of darkness or rain delay. In 1952, as board leader of Arista, I, along with 2 of my classmates, had the privilege of addressing the class. Doing research on that day, I found that we talked about integrity, honesty, loyalty, the feelings of warmth that Curtis had given us, and the great preparation for life that lay ahead. My words, integrity, honesty, and loyalty, may not be the main theme of any speech these days, but I would argue that today they are more important than ever, even as everything about us has changed. I didn't have a car, but gasoline was 20 cents a gallon, and the average car cost $1,700. Of course, wages were only $3,850 a year. A postage stamp was 3 cents. Harry Truman was president, and that year we elected General Dwight David Eisenhower to serve the following 4 years. The Korean War would end the following July, and we could look forward to years of peace ahead. I recently walked to an electronics store by the mall, and as I looked around, I realized there was almost nothing in the store except the refrigerators and stoves that existed as I was growing up. How did I ever make it? Without iPods and iPads, cell phones, CDs, or computers. Our family, several years earlier, had gotten 7-inch TV, which was not much bigger than today's smartphone. No wonder I now wear glasses. Ah, the not so good old days. But I think I am wrong. Your life, while material richer, is so much more complicated and challenging. Yes, all of you have more opportunity in a greater variety of occupations and avocations, but also much greater challenges and risks. We live in a great country that has made it stronger, as you have demonstrated, by our citizens voluntarily being involved in their communities. I am now, as you heard, involved with the Staten Island Foundation. That organization grants money to Staten Island institutions, which for the most part do service in health and human services, arts and culture, and in education. The foundation has committed itself to measuring outcomes. What results have our grants actually produced? Now that is pertinent today because it makes you have to think ahead. Or as the great philosopher and baseball player Yogi Berra put it, if you don't know where you're going, you won't know when you get there. Shucks, I wanted that ball. Think about where you want to end up both in the short and long term. For instance, if you want to be a grandparent, which is wonderful, you have to have children. Or if you want to be a nurse or a mechanic or teacher, you have to take the proper training. So decide the outcome you want and follow it with passion. The second important thing we are doing at the foundation is tackling youth substance abuse. The numbers show that we have a real plague in all of the communities on Staten Island of binge drinking and the misuse of prescription drugs, both of which ruin lives. So my advice is simple. Don't get into that evil trap, and if you're there, get help. It is available. With all of this, knowing what this class will accomplish, I am left with a sense of optimism for the days ahead. All of you have given me a tremendous sense of pride in being a Curtis alumnus. Thank you for that gift. I hope each of you are successful and your lives are filled with the happiness of this very special day. Congratulations to you and your family. Thank you.